Hello, Nathan here from the Trophy team, joined with...
I am Ben.
Quick video. You'll probably see a few days ago Ben posted a video in relation to Lightroom versus ON1.
Yeah, photo
raw. We had a lot of comments from people saying that we should try Iridient Developer.
If we pronounce that right, that's how
yeah.
And also they mentioned SilkyPix, which is Fuji's own RAW converter as well. So what have we done?
Well, we've just
tried it.
A single image, quick image, landscape image. We've done a quick edit using Iridient Developer, Lightroom and SilkyPix. We're now going to show you what we've done on the computer, show you the results, and I can say that from starting out and what we've seen so far, Iridient Developer seems to be
sharp as hell. Yeah,
very good,
really good, and colours are different. The image seems to come out brighter, and all we're doing is something very simple inside it, but it produces a massive TIFF file. So we don't recommend doing it for every single shot you put through it. Do it with what we like to call the money shots, those shots that are going to get printed up really big out of your wedding, or if you're a landscape and you're doing prints, and then think about doing it there. But we'll show you how we've done it as well, and what the results are. And so you can make your own judgment on the sharpness, because we'll do a screen capture in a minute on the iMac.
So let's jump across to the Mac and we'll edit those pictures now. Okay, so you join us at the Mac now. I've got a folder here with a couple of files in. First one is an edit that we made in SilkyPix and then exported that as a TIFF. I'm not going to show you that process because we didn't really like that program and that was deleted almost instantly. Second one is the Fuji RAF file, which was obviously the original file that came from the Fuji X-T2, shot with a 56mm.
No, that's the 90mm.
Oh, sorry, 90 f2, is it?
Yeah.
Shot with a 90 f2 lens. So what I want to do now is open that RAF file up in Iridient Developer. So we'll open that program. You just help me there. Right, so this is the original image in Iridient Developer. The only thing we want to do is we're going to make sure that this says camera default XT2.
Just to say, this is the most recent one. We downloaded this today, so this is 3.1.3, was it? And we double checked. And the one thing that can show you the difference was, because some of the stuff we've been looking at is different settings. This has got version 3, and this is actually different to the version 2 stuff. Just to point that out if you've seen some other website.
Now, obviously, with this program, if you want to, you can make all of your edits in here. But for the purposes of this video, we just want to show you what will happen if you bring an image into Iridient Developer, export it, and then bring it into Lightroom. So,
and the reason we chose this image is if you were to 100% zoom on this, there's so many spindly branches and everything on this tree. We're hoping it will really show you the power of Iridient and what we think is so much sharper than the processing that's happened through Lightroom. So that's the reason we chose this. It's not an amazing image or anything like that. It was more because of that.
Okay, so we've made sure that camera default is set to XT2. We'll then go File, Batch Process, Selected Images. Now what that's going to do is it's going to convert that image into a TIFF and put it into the original folder where the original image came from. So we'll click that.
And while it's doing that, it's just, if you think of that batch processing, if you choose all of those money shot images you want to make, nice and sharp, etc., put them all into here, hit batch process after you selected them all, and this will do it to everything. So quite quick.
So that's done that now. So we can now close Iridient Developer. As you'll see, the image is now in here as a TIFF file.
And just to say, while we're in here, that TIFF file that Iridient's brought out is 144 meg. Huge. Considering the RAF file is 50 something meg, 50.4, and I think the SilkyPix one came out 144 point something, so slightly bigger than the Iridient TIFF.
Okay, I've just renamed that Iridient so we're not getting confused in Lightroom. We've got the 3 images. We will open up Lightroom. We'll go into the import. We will select not one of those images, not that one either.
Stop.
So that's the 3 images. I'm not going to add any sort of preset on import.
I did notice when I was doing the SilkyPix image, which is number 3, it did show it like that, but when you do open it, it does open.
Ah, there we go. Okay.
There we go. And the Iridient one, to really sort of show straight away, has got the text on it, because it's just, we just downloaded the demo. So to get rid of that, you have to pay for the license, which we may quite possibly do.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on the original Fuji RAF file. Now obviously this has been imported into Lightroom as the original RAF file, so Lightroom has done its development settings on that. Then we've got the Iridient Developer one, then the SilkyPix file. So we're going to compare first off the, let's hit info. Okay, so we've got the Fuji file on the left, which is the original one, and then the Iridient one. Let's zoom in at 1:1 to start with.
So this was 90mm at f4, ISO 200, and over 1,000 on a shutter, so it should be fairly still.
Now immediately from here, you will have to obviously view this in HD. We can instantly see that the branches on the tree of the Iridient image are so much more sharper, more detail, more defined. If you look across onto the Fuji one, it's almost soft. I'm going to zoom in a bit more. We'll go to 3:1. And we'll come to this image. Let them render.
There we go.
Now, again, this is just so much more sharper. This little bird here, you can almost see its beak, but if you look at it on the Fuji file,
that's a blob.
It's just a blob. And
the image on the Fuji file almost seems a lot darker. Everything just seems darker because it's, if you look here, it's just a blur.
You can almost see a lot of chromatic aberration as well on that.
Yeah, where here you've got so much more detail, and because you've got the detail through all the branches, it just appears wholly brighter. And yeah, we just think it is a hell of a lot sharper. I mean, this is proper pixel peaking levels, but if you've got a really big image or something you want to print out big, you want to make sure it's sharp, don't you?
Yeah, and like I say, this is 3:1, so this is really putting the lens to its paces. And again, if we go 3:1 and look at the base of the tree, this little set of branches here, compared to what you get from the Fuji file, you can see the difference there. This is just lovely and sharp, and this is just soft. We will do a little bit of edit on that in a little while and just add some sharpening and see whether we can get them to match. But
and the other thing while we're in that view is just look at the colour of the grass. I personally think this colour here is a lot nicer. It's just more of a deeper green, and this just seems maybe a bit warmer, possibly. And the other thing we have noticed when we was doing some other shots is because Iridient, as you put it through, does all the lens profiles, we were noticing architecturally shots were actually a lot straighter because it was taken out of the lens distortion. and a lot of the time there doesn't appear to be much of the lens profiles with Lightroom, so that's also an advantage.
What I'm going to do now, we know this is nice and sharp, so I'm going to switch out the Iridient one for the SilkyPix, and we will go again. Let's go for this purposes. We'll go 2:1. So this is the SilkyPix. Now it does look a little bit sharper again than the Fuji file, the original RAF file brought into Lightroom.
You can also see a bit of colour difference as well.
So it's definitely better than the Lightroom version. Let's see if we can get...
The colour's a lot darker as well. The colour of the trees a lot darker.
Right, so now we've got the Iridient, which we think is good, the best, and we've got the SilkyPix on the right.
And just probably concentrate up here. And let's go to that 3:1 as well.
Oh, here we go. Look, they're looking at the top branches.
Yeah,
you can just
instantly,
tell.
Yeah, straight away. Blurry, sharp. Let's go back to 3:1 just to make it fair, as that's what we have been looking at it. So Iridient again. I mean, this is when you're looking at this screen here. My eyes are almost still waiting to adjust. This is almost like still waiting for this to render, because we can see how sharp it can be. My eyes hurt because I want this to look like this. And again, it's that coming back to that kind of, it's almost darker because it's just a mass rather than being, you know, really fine detail. And we don't think there's especially up here, we don't think there's a great deal of difference between the SilkyPix and the Lightroom import.
Let's go into the Develop module, and we will, first off, we will get the, if I can, there we come on, select, there we go. So this is the Iridient file, and I'm going to add full sharpening, which you wouldn't normally do. Then I'm going to pick out the Fuji file in Lightroom, which already has a little bit of sharpening added by the looks of it. I'm going to give that full. Back into the Develop, so the library panel, so we can compare the two.
I think from now on we're going to ignore the SilkyPix because we don't see there being that much advantage to doing it through there. Apart from it as obviously being a free bit of software, we just see that, you know, from going to that degree, you might as well be using Lightroom still. Now,
yes, we have got the orange peel effect. Now that is what a lot of people complain about in Lightroom when they add sharpening to images that come from the Fuji X-Trans sensors. And also on the left you can see the Fuji file, and you can see exactly what people mean. This sort of orange peel effect on the was more predominant on the darker part of the image. Yes, we still got it on the Iridient image.
I think it's a lot cleaner in the background.
Yeah, but it's not as much.
Yeah.
And this is giving each image full sharpness.
I think here looks a lot cleaner than this.
Definitely.
And you know, if you're doing sort of these kind of shots with a bright sky and all the highlights and like this is a lot nicer. Obviously, you can apply that mask as you do your sharpening anyway. But going back to how sharp it is, you know, these bits here. Has it brought it back? Has it sharpened it the same amount? It's a lot better than it was, but at a cost, isn't it?
You've still lost clarity on that image on the left. It's still the branches are still soft and pink. You know, if you just go up there, this little branch here,
it's pin sharp.
I mean, here it's almost pixelated.
For a 3:1 zoom, that is pin sharp, and your naked eye isn't going to see that unless you printed that huge, is it? I mean, it'd be interesting actually. Let's take all the sharpening off the Iridient one, and as sharpened out of Iridient, and then compare that to a full sharpen.
So we're taking all the sharpening off the Iridient?
Sharpening off that one, and now let's go back into compare mode, see what happens. So this is now...
Well, you're going to have all that orange peel, aren't you?
Yeah, but I'm just going to look at how sharp it is, going back to, you know, the top level.
So this on the left, waiting for it to render, is the Iridient with no sharpening applied.
And if you look across them, yeah, obviously the Fuji RAW file looks sharper, but look at the cost, look at what you're losing.
Let's go back to the base of the tree. I mean, yeah, it's got all that sharpening on there, so it's going to appear a little bit sharper with more clarity, but it's just like someone's.
Well, as you can
see like a
canvas here, yeah, it's, you know, it's a painted, isn't it? I mean, I would probably say if you want to add a little bit of sharpening out of Iridient, maybe, but I think compared to what we were getting out of Lightroom, and we were fairly happy with that. I mean, the prime lenses with the X series is so sharp anyway, but this is just another level, isn't it? An absolute another level.
So you would probably add just a little bit of sharpening.
Yeah.
You may even add a little bit of noise reduction. I'm not going to go into a full edit, but this is just basically to show you what sort of thing you can get from the Iridient Developer.
I mean, the one thing that we're not we're losing is your camera calibrations, those lovely Fuji profiles, because the Iridient Developer, because it's a TIFF, it's got the embedded profile with it, so you lose the beauty of obviously going back to the Fuji RAF. You lose the beauty of all the Fuji stuff, and we're quite liking the classic chrome and the acid soft stuff, even the Acros for black and whites and things like that. So yeah, that's a trade-off in some respects, but you can reproduce what they're doing to a certain degree, can't you?
Yeah. So I think we'll wrap it up there. That's just a quick little show on the image quality that you will get from a RAF file, Fuji file, if you put it into Iridient Developer first, and then obviously batch that out as a TIFF, and then bring it in Lightroom and comparing it to the original Fuji file. Nice and sharp. Colour seems to be more accurate, and the detail, the fine detail, is just so much more defined. We have tried a few portrait images through this system. We didn't want to show you those today because of obviously the some of our clients that we used, but the quality and the sharpness that you can get on a portrait was brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely brilliant. But there is that trade-off, you know. This is, I think, 84 quid in the UK when I looked at it, Iridient. Is that worth paying for? Probably. It depends what kind of photographer you are, because we're not going to take 1,000 images at a wedding and make them all 144 meg TIFF files. It's not going to happen. We'll have no storage space left.
I think for your standard sized photo album, Lightroom's fine. There's no issue. But if you're looking at maybe printing a nice large canvas, then it's probably beneficial, like you say, just to put it into Iridient Developer prior to making your edits in Lightroom.
Definitely, and that's the trade-off you've got to think. Is it worth investing in that? What kind of photography do you do? If you're going to print a picture off that's about that big in a wedding album, pixel peaking that far is not going to happen on that small print. So yeah, we kind of leave it down to you, but we've got a thumbs up for Iridient at the moment, and let's hope these kind of things come into Lightroom. Let's hope Adobe does pick themselves up, take this kind of thing from Iridient. It's got to happen at some point.
I mean, we will obviously test this a little bit more thoroughly. We've only just we've only just been playing this for about an hour, so we've got a wedding coming up this weekend. We will have a play with some files, and we'll hopefully get back to you with another video and some more comparisons. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
My name's Nathan.
And I'm Ben, and we're from the
photography team. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. And thanks for your support. See ya.